Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now, we've had this discussion, but you have to understand that when it comes to security and finances, you can never have so much of it because, well, it's all about educating and enlightening you. Vivian Gbogwu is here from Meristem Trustees. Now, Meristem Trustees is a member of the Meristem Securities Group, a foremost Nigerian investment vehicle experience in delivering unique financial solutions and licensed by the SEC. It is great to have you. You are welcome.
Great to have you.
It was quite a good one we had last time. We spoke about a number of things, but there was one major thing we didn't expatiate on, and that's talking about special needs trust, right?
That's
okay,
correct.
good. Let's get into it.
Okay.
When we say special needs trust, what exactly are we talking about here?
Okay. Before we get into the description of the service, I know this is an area people are not really comfortable having conversations around because people have medical impairments, medical conditions that they are not comfortable speaking publicly about.
So the special needs is human needs.
Yes.
So a special person.
Exactly.
You know, I suppose maybe somebody with some sort of disability in some ways.
Yes.
That's exactly what we're talking
exactly.
about here.
So this service focuses on this niche area.
Okay.
So we have people with certain medical conditions, we have people with certain medical disabilities who cannot on a normal day, on a day-to-day take care of themselves, cater to their financial needs and all of that. This is why we've put this structure in place where family members, guardians can, you know, identify certain classes of assets, pull it into trust for the benefits of this category of persons. So a special needs trust is basically a legal arrangement where asset classes are put into trust under the custody of a trustee like Meristem Trustees Limited to take care of these assets, administer these assets for this purpose of taking care of this person with special needs. So this person with disabilities, this person with medical conditions, on a normal day, they probably need to go to the hospitals every now and again. They need therapy, they need special care. So this is where Meristem Trustees thrives. We hold these assets, we cater to their needs, we liaise with third parties like caregivers, doctors and the likes, basically to entrust the assets and cater to the needs of these people.
Now, these assets, are they held as some form of collateral, or are these assets financial vehicles, assets that bring in money? What exactly do you mean?
So they are mostly assets that bring in money.
Okay.
They are not limited to cash. So it could be fixed income investments, it could be equities,
Okay,
it could be real estate. So maybe someone has gifted this person a particular real estate and they know that if it gets into the wrong hands, it won't be administered properly. All of these classes of assets can come into the trust arrangement. So fixed income instruments like commercial papers, treasury bills, cash that would not sit fallow in the trust. So the cash we receive doesn't sit in bank accounts just idle. We as trustees, armed with fiduciary role, also ensure that we preserve it and ensure that it also grows in terms of accumulation. So we invest in safe instruments that would ensure that it grows with time and all of that. So the classes of assets that can be pulled into the trust is not limited. So cash, fixed income, equities, real estate, and the likes can
Are there
move
any kind
into
of assets that you would not accept?
I'm
For
not
instance,
really.
if an asset is not financially viable,
Okay.
you understand? And it's an asset that maybe might be dilapidated or something that's not
So-
bringing in money at the moment.
So most times we try as much as possible to bring in assets that we know would not deplete. But at the same time, because there are certain asset classes that you also cannot use to generate revenue and you want to keep specifically for this person, we also encourage. So imagine you've built this property in Banana and you built it specially for the purpose of taking care of this person. You want to house them in it and all of that. Yes, it's not generating revenue, but you also do not want it to get into the wrong hands. So we would also encourage you to put it into the trust, but it would be basically for the use of this person with special
Okay, so now,
needs.
when that asset gets into the trust,
Yeah.
does the trust manage it to generate finance? How does it take care of the person if at the moment it's not generating finance?
So at the end of the day, we work with third parties. At the end of the day, we also work with the provisions of the trust deed. So if the trust deed, that's the legal agreement in place, says that the trustee should optimize the value of the assets, then yes, we'll look for ways to optimize the value of the assets. We probably would be doing some sort of leasing or letting out a portion of the property to generate rental income. Yes, so it all runs down because at the end of the day, if it's not discretionary, there's so much we can do. We have to adhere to the provisions of the trust agreement. So if the trust agreement says, oh yes, trustee, you can do this, then we'll have to do this. If it says, no, you can't do this, we have we can't not do that. You get? So at the end of the day, we have to work with what the settlor wants. We also have to look out for the long-term goal of the trust arrangement. So it all runs down to the opportunities that comes in place.
Okay, in a scenario where there are no definite laid out terms in the agreement, you know, from to that special needs person, it's not definite. Maybe it will just put it into trust. Is it possible that can be put into trust without defined terms to manage such a trust? It's not possible.
So because as trustees, we've learned over the years that we also do not want to get into any sort of, for a lack of better word, trouble. So we like as much as possible to have defined structures put in place, ensuring that whatever agreements we have securing this whole legal structure is actually adhered to. So certain terms have to be defined. We don't want to leave any gap. We don't want to leave any lacuna. So that's why we ensure that from inception, we actually address things that we envisage would happen or go wrong. And then as time goes wrong, when we identify certain issues, we also try to address them by maybe implementing a supplemental document that would be like an addendum to the initial one, just to ensure that everybody is on the same page. The beneficiary knows what's going on. The settlor knows what's going on. Our regulators also knows what's going on. So all of this will be duly documented in the trust agreement.
That supplementary agreement or will or document, was that in effect when the trustee, you know, gave that particular asset to be managed?
So it is implied. So let me give an example. If you're setting up a trust, a special needs trust vehicle, it doesn't mean that it is limited to the initial classes of assets that were pulled into trust. Okay. You can subsequently add more assets into it. Okay. You can subsequently change the arrangement. You can subsequently add in new beneficiaries. You can subsequently say, oh, this person at the time we set up the trust did not need this sort of medical care, but now needs this type of medical care. So all of that can be updated via the supplemental document that I just spoke about.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And is it different from the other classes that you have when it comes to how one can engage Meristem trustees on this particular matter? Is it different?
Okay, so it's kind of different from the normal living trust because this is literally targeted at people with disabilities. So we have people who are autistic, we have people who have mobility issues, and it's not necessarily limited to children. We have elderly parents who have mobility issues and all of that, who on a normal day cannot take care of themselves, who are in the hands of caregivers that probably would not look out for them 100%. So this is why this trust arrangement has been set aside for for category of persons like this.
Wonderful. Can you come into, can someone, you know, there's some kids that even from birth, you know that they're special needs. Even from before they're even born, sometimes, you know, it does happen. Can this kind of vehicle apply in that particular scenario?
Yes, so it does. So their parents will, even before childbirth, already know that their children would have some sort of medical condition. Even before the woman goes to the labor room to give birth, they can put all of these trust arrangements in place. You know that, at the end of the day, God forbid anything happens to such parents, and they want to ensure that there's a professional party that will be appointed independently to look out for their children. They can set aside this trust to take care of their if they are opportune to go to school, maybe the medical condition is not so bad where they are able to attend school. To cater to their maybe therapy, to cater to vocational trainings, to cater to their normal upkeep, social activities and all of that. So the trust arrangement will strictly cater to all of those needs right from birth. So if the trust is well funded in terms of assets, quality assets, the trustee will maximize and optimize the value of the assets to ensure that even when the child reaches the age of 50, 60, 70, this trust and the trust assets are still well preserved and catering to the needs of this person.
To wrap up, what happens to these assets when the arrangements of the deal have come to full term?
Okay.
So what happens to the assets?
So there's usually a period within which the trust can operate for. Most times, especially for trust arrangements like this, it's usually defined in such a way that the trust operates till the person's capacitation or demise. In that instance, the person's whatever remnants in terms of assets left in the trust can go to another person as defined in the trust deed. It has to be defined. So we already know, based off our experience, that we expect that, yes,
they are laid out.
Exactly.
Laid out terms.
So it's either it goes back to the person's estate. If the person is fortunate enough to have children of their own, it goes back to their children. Or from inception,
Wonderful.
they also identify who they want to benefit from whatever remnants is left in the trust arrangement.
Done your homework. You guys know what you're doing.
Yeah, we do.
Well done, well done. Just a final words when it comes to all of this. Just once again, why should somebody invest their assets in such trust management as it were?
So nobody wishes to have this sort of medical conditions. Nobody wishes to have children with this sort of medical conditions. But life is life. Life throws lemons at us. And when this comes up, we need to, you know, put things in place, take charge and take care of the people that we know we love or we claim we love. That's why we've ensured that this sort of service caters to parents that would be able to design by care. So you're designing a trust arrangement, you're doing a bespoke, tailored arrangement that will cater to the needs of your loved one, should in case you are not there. So you are ensuring that a third party is involved. There's no misappropriation of funds. There's no mismanagement of assets. You know that you have peace of mind. If anything happens to you tomorrow, you know that, yes, you left something aside for this child. You left something aside for this sibling. You left something aside for this parent. That should, in case anything bad happens to you, the trust is there to cater to their needs.
Now, in a scenario, because it does happen, in a scenario where the trustee, the person who put it, has passed, and put it in your care, and maybe there's some sort of illegal battle from, an outside party who is, in some ways related to this something and all of that. And then the person has to go through a legal battle. There are legal fees, there are other things involved that are maybe were not particular part of the terms when that trust happens. What happens in that kind of scenario?
So most times the trust arrangement is such a private one that external influence is kind of limited, and should in case that scenario happens, then the trust deed would have taken care of any anticipated wrong that would happen. So from inception, it is clear that the trustee has been entrusted with these classes of assets for the benefit of this particular person.
But that doesn't stop legal disputes.
Yeah, it doesn't stop it, but at the end of the day, we have something on ground, we have something in place that ensures that we are protecting these assets, we are protecting the integrity and dignity of this person that the trust has been set aside for. So we have proof, we have evidence, we are going to court to say that this trust was created for this person, this was when it was created, these were the classes of assets that were put into trust for this person. So yes, there's a likelihood of legal dispute, but in terms of the person who is disputing succeeding, it's
yes. Success is another issue, and that's why I mentioned legal fees from the side of your trust, the person you're holding that trust in lieu of. So in that particular scenario, does Meristem cover the legal fees? Are you the ones that do you provide the legal
So yes, to an extent, but no. So the trust assets would be used to cater to the legal fees. The legal expertise, yes, we have lawyers in-house in Meristem Trustees, but at the same time, we also engage third-party solicitors who are well-versed in this area of dispute and litigation.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes.
I like that. That's so.
Because at the end of the day, in the long run, it is us looking out for the interest of the beneficiary.
So in conjunction with the third party, solicitors who actually have more knowledge in that particular scenario, with your in-house legal experts, put it together and ensure that this happens. So that's these kind of questions will come up, because the person is asking, what if I'm not there and I pass on and all of that? This would have to be, especially when it's a special need and all of that. So I think it's something that can encourage a lot of people to be a part of all of that. Once again, how do they your website or something?
Okay, so they can reach out to us at trustees@meristemng.com or walk into our office at 28 Gerard Road, Ikoyi, Lagos. So we are just an email away, we are just a phone call away. We have physical presence in Lagos, both the island and the mainland. We are in Abuja, we are in Port Harcourt. So it's just to send us an email, reach out to us via WhatsApp or normal call, and we'll be willing to listen.
All right, and then they can say, Meristem, please, we want to talk to Vivian. Is Vivian with you? She's the one that we saw.
She's available.
They can ask for her.
Herself and her colleagues are available any time of the day.
Because it was her they heard, it was her they liked.
Oh, that's fine.
They want to talk to her.
Available.
She's available.
She's available.
Well done, thank you. It was
thank
a pleasure
you very
talking
much.
to you. All right?
Thank you very much for having me.
Keep up the good work. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, hope you're able to pick up one or two things from that. We'll take a time out now. Stay with us. There's still more to come on the show.